Hey guys, we're in the Focke-Wulf 190D. I struggle with that because I work for a company, I've worked for a company before and I do at the moment, called Focke. Very similar. It's actually a Dutch company rather than a German company, and they did make, it is the oldest aircraft company in the world, I believe. They made biplanes obviously for the Germans. But anyway, this is a Focke-Wulf 190D Dora. This game is DCS, absolute brilliant sim. It's a real sim. So if you like quick action, fast, kind of hip shooting, you know, instant gratification, definitely not the game for you. But if you like to, if you're really interested in kind of the planes or interested in learning how to fly them, definitely interested in learning all the systems. And then after quite a while, several hours of doing that, flying around and doing missions, this is the game. It's one of those things with the learning curve. The more you learn, the better you get. The more rewarding it is to do things because you remember you were absolute crap when you started off. I think a lot of games are like that. Some people just don't have the patience to learn a slower game like that. But the people that do, I think they definitely get a lot more appreciation out of a game. Anyway, I'm doing this on the try scheme. I don't know if it's going to work because this game is so detailed. Like in the cockpit here, you can see this is it's a late 1944 aircraft. So it's a late World War II aircraft. Came out very late in the war, and basically they model it exactly as it was. Every single dial works as it should. I mean, I don't know how close it is to the real life, you know, the sensors and things like that. But it looks good, and they seem to act very fluid, like you would expect them to in real life. So it looks complicated as well. When you don't know what anything is, you're like, oh, this is too complicated. But if you watch like a YouTube guide, or if you print out the instructions and just do it step by step, like first of all, just start the aircraft at stage one, and then don't even think about anything else, and then just try and take it off. And watch YouTube videos how to do that, because every single aircraft is different. And also don't jump in between all the aircraft because they're so different, you would have no chance. It's like a completely different game, a very complicated game, every single aircraft. So I'll just run through and do a quick mission of this. I hope it's plausible to watch on the tri-screen thing. I prefer to do this and capture in like the center screen. And I really don't like to capture all 3 screens because it makes a very narrow. I've got a noisy dog down here. He's got his big bone. The wolf. So yeah, this is the Focke-Wulf. We've got it in the German colours. I had it in the British colours when I was learning at it. It was kind of weird to do that. So you had it in like the RAF camouflage colours. So I called it, what was it? Oh, it was a wolf in lion's clothing. That was it. I'll probably call the video that. Anyway, let's get started and we can talk about the game a bit more. If we take off, I say it's quite difficult. So it's quite simple to start this aircraft. We've just got the fuel. So that's like there's 2 tanks to the fuel. So that's 1, 2, and then both. So right to the top, dead easy. Then we've got the throttle, and at the moment it's locked. So you have to put it into kind of the movable position. So they call it idle, but idle's just the slowest point on that. So I've got an X55 here, so I've got the throttle and I've assigned stuff to these buttons. And you do this with every single aircraft, so you'll assign different buttons on your stick. I've got the stick over here, and I've got the throttle here. I don't use any keys myself. I've got the keyboard down here, but I don't really use keys. I don't really like to lean over and be pressing the keyboard and stuff when I'm flying, and it's just more realistic to have it all on there. Or another great thing about this game is on the newer aircraft, the more detailed ones. I mean, these aircraft are expensive. Like this, I think it was $30 on sale, this one. But I've already played it probably 5 or 6 hours messing around, so it's definitely worth it already before I've even got involved in doing any real good combat. Anyway, I'm skipping ahead here on autopilot. So they call this the Magneto. It's not something out of the X-Files, not X-Files, X-Men. It's not Mr. Magneto or anything. It's basically an alternator. And again, you got 2 of them, and you just go right to the top for both. So that's quite easy. The throttle in standby. Make sure the power's down so you don't shoot off when the aircraft starts. So fuel's up. Everything else you can kind of ignore. I'll go over them in a bit. This is so you got a breaker panel here. So these are just fuses basically that'll trip, and then the pilot can just re-enable them, you know, in flight, so he's not out of his systems. So you just enable all these. The only one I actually play with in flight is the top one, and that's your auto trim and flap electronics. So I don't really like the auto trim. I'm not sure how to turn it off yet. I need to look it up. So I just break the fuse, and it doesn't work anymore. And then when I come into land, I just switch it on again and drop the flaps. This is like lights and then fuel pump and stuff, I think. So that's pretty much it. So it's just all of those down. So that's under a flap for this aircraft. All these ones on, and that's pretty much it. You're ready to start the aircraft now. It's and the aircraft's basically underneath this flap. You have a starter button. Now you hold this down, and with this aircraft, it has a big flywheel inside next to the engine, and that'll start spinning with the electrical power, and it'll get a lot of inertia. It's got loads of weight to it. And then it's got a clutch, and the clutch is basically lifting this switch. So what happens is when the inertia gets going enough and the thing starts spinning, you just pull that clutch and it connects with the engine, and it turns the engine over, and then the engine will fire. So you're basically kick-starting the plane. If I can turn the volume up, and they might be able to hear it. So it's like you got some shoes in the dryer or something, you know, it's making a thumping noise. And it gets faster and faster and faster. That's one of the other aircraft speaking. So now I've been holding that down now for much longer than I need to, and now I can pull that up, and it should start. There we go. Jackpot. And that's pretty much it now. That's the aircraft started, and we're ready to go and take off. So I can zoom in and out with my triggers and my buttons I've set. But the only other thing I'll do is I'll close the canopy. So we have a winch here. So we just grab it, push it to the left. How do I turn that guy off? I don't use the radio. Is this it? There we go. You can just hover over these things as well, and they'll tell you what they are. So that should have turned him off, I think. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so we'll close the canopy. You kind of sign a switch to that, but I actually like to have it as a, it makes it more immersive when you're doing it yourself. A lot of the time as well, when you jump onto servers, they have a choice where you can start on the plane where it's already going. So you don't have to do all this, you just jump in and it'll be going. But it's kind of fun to do it, to learn how to do it. It teaches you the systems. Now this aircraft is they call it a tail dragger. So it's basically got two wheels at the front and a wheel at the back. The back wheel is quite dumb, so basically if it can't steer the aircraft from the back. So what we have to do is use the brakes. So we've got a left and right brake. You can see I've got them assigned here to my my Logitech pedals I use for normally clutch and accelerator. So pressing on those two will give me a brake. I've got my my yaw on my handle, which won't work yet because there's no airflow around the aircraft, but I've got that. You can see that, so that's up and down. If we go and look at the back, you see the rudder going. Another thing we can do is we can lock the tail wheel, so when we press the brake, the aircraft won't spin around too fast because that wheel's locked in place. So if we pull back on the stick, what that'll do is it'll lift the tail around at the back. You can see that going up and down at the back. So that makes the air push that back horizontal stabilizer, pushes it down, keeps the wheel on the ground, and because we don't have any steer with the rudder, we can just steer gently with the brakes until we get up to like 100 kilometers. I think it's kilometers. Yeah, 100 kilometers on this. And then we can start, because you get enough airflow over the rudder, then you can bring the stick back into the neutral position and start using the rudder to steer, which is a lot easier. When I started learning this, I would crash so much, just using the brakes, going too fast, and the thing would just spin off. And then all we do is, once we get into flight, is we just knock down this button here. but I have a switch on my thing for it, so I'd have to look down here. Is the undercarriage, so that'll drop the lift the undercarriage or retract it. Don't press the button before you take off, because this aircraft will fall on its belly. It doesn't have a weight on wheels locking mechanism or anything. The only thing we have to do is the flap. You can't see the flaps from the cockpit on here. They're actually just a spoiler underneath. And at the moment they're at landing 60, so we'll just put them up to go up to 10, I think. And off we go. So just say I'm steering with the brakes. I hope you can hear this. I don't know how loud it'll be in comparison. So we just keep it slow. I can pull the stick back and it'll lock. It's a bit fast. It really stabilises the aircraft, stops it turning too fast when you have the stick back. And the guys who made this game, they went off a bit. They interviewed an actual German pilot, a Luftwaffe pilot. He's still alive, he's in his 90s, who flew this exact plane, and there's a great, I'll put a link to it in the comments, there's a brilliant interview with this guy, and he doesn't really talk about the experience of being in a horrific war, he more talks about the specifics of the airplane, which is quite cool, and their experiences with flying it. See, I'm not very good at this. One thing I normally do wrong is I keep the stick held back when I want to turn it sharp and it won't turn. It's just bouncing the wheel basically because it's locked. So if you do want to turn fast, centre the wheel. So I'll just try and straighten up a little bit more. Useless. There we go. So make sure the flaps are in, so they should be on 10. Yep. And I say I'm going to trip that switch to turn off the auto trim. So it pops the flap up because I just did the breaker. I'll quickly switch on the weapons now because it gets a bit more complicated when I'm flying. So the weapons are quite easy as well on this. We've got 4 guns. So there's some on the front of the fuselage, there's some in the leading edge wing, yeah. We click this on, and that enables our guns. I need to turn the... this switch here is your dial indicator lights. So if I drag that up, you see it goes really bright, starts to look quite cool. I don't know why it's flashing. Have I got something wrong here? That's very weird that it's flashing. I've not seen that before. Is it because we've got no power? Yeah, that's all it was. So that's how detailed this game is, because the aircraft's not creating enough electricity to power the lights and everything. They start flickering. So it's really, really cool. And I didn't know what was doing that, so it's really nice. So the aircraft doesn't have any bombs or rockets on the bottom, but if it did, you would arm them here. So to the left, the stairs would be the bombs, and to the right would be your rockets, I believe. Well, I've never used rockets on this yet. And then the cannons, as soon as I did that switch, the cannons are active. These 4 are your cannons, and you can change the rate of fire. So I'll just drag that down a bit so we're not blatting off all our rounds on the 4 guns. Oh. And that, I think, is pretty much most of the aircraft, really. I mean, apart from... you have all your radio that I don't understand to even explain. And I don't know what the MW50 is. This is oxygen. And then your dials, basically your speed, altitude, and all your pressures on the bottom, those 5. Fuel on the right. Actually, you can flick through the fuel tanks here. So as you flick the switch, it'll show you... Hello, I've lost it. Let me zoom in. Oh, let me touch it now. Try and get a good angle on it. Nope, I've broke it. I mean, you could assign a switch on your controller for that. There probably already is one on the keyboard. So yeah, we've got our compass. In the middle is really quite important for landing. I use it. It's your vertical ascent and descent rate. So how far up or down you're going. So if you're going really slow in kind of a slow stall coming into land like a flare, if you're going too slow, that'll go really low, and that's when you're going to just smash into the floor. Over here we've got like boost pressure. I kind of use that a lot as well, so that's trying to keep that when I come into land above 0.9. And then revs, so that should go up. Yep. And don't know what that is at the bottom. Can't speak very good German, even though I did live there. Whoa, it looks like someone's been bombing us or something. Okay, not to worry, let's get out of here. So I'm going to try, as I say, I'll basically steer with the pedals at front, keep the stick back. When it gets to 100, I'll switch. I'll let the stick go into neutral, and then I'll steer with the rudder. Try and push forward a little bit so the aircraft stays down while we get some speed up. Oh, we're bouncing. There we go. And then undercarriage down, so that should work. And then we can go over and I'll have to flip my switch back on. And then we can push the flaps up. There we go. And we're good to go. That is taking off in the Focke-Wulf 190D. Okay, so my setup, I'm using the track IR, so you can see how I look around. I actually did a video about 7 years ago in this game. I played this game for probably 12 years. It used to be called Lock-On Low-Mac Modern Air Warfare or something like that. And it's always been really, really good, but they're bringing out version 2 of this. They call it DCS World now, and they're about to bring out version 2, which uses a brand new DirectX 11 graphics engine. And this is beta 1.5, so we're in a beta now, so everything doesn't work very well. And all the planes you buy from now on will work in the DCS World 2. And by the end of November, they're going to release the first map, I believe, which is it's the Nevada and the test training ground, which they use. It includes a lot of the airports in Nevada, Area 51, Mojave, and a few of the things, a few of the areas around there. Las Vegas, you can fly around. It's really, really good. So the graphics on this are pretty cool. I don't know if we can do like a little view there. The guns blazing. Little flyby. Anyway, now we're into this is actually on my little server. I've got a server online called Eastie's Bingo Field. So I'm going to try and keep that online if you want to play with it. I want to keep it more World War II, I think, unless people come on and they want to play different stuff, different aircraft. There are free World War II aircraft at the moment, and I think there's going to be a couple more, and there's going to be a whole mod. There's going to be a Spitfire, which is the one I'm really looking forward to, obviously. So there should be some enemy aircraft around here. I'm not at all averse to dogfighting, so don't expect me to last very long. I'm going really fast. But we do have tea, a cup of tea, and we do have parking, so nothing. Parking cake, which is bonfire night cake in England. So nothing can stop us really, apart from the dog trying to eat it. Hey buddy, come on. No, leave that alone. Okay, no, not for you. Okay, so is that guy's up there? It is quite difficult. When you're on the more modern jets, you've got a lot of radar and sensors to detect where people are. A lot of people play it with IDs on, so it labels the aircraft where they are and you can see them really easily. It makes it a lot easier and it's quite good when you're learning, but I just prefer to be looking for aircraft, especially in this World War II scenario. And when you do find an aircraft, you know, and you're gazing around and you do see them, it's kind of a rewarding feeling to... And what gives them away, obviously, in this scenario is there's a ground-to-air fire, so that starts going off, and they really stand out where the aircraft are. So that was a bit of a red herring. Oh, sorry, my dog's sitting on my tea. Okay, you see the graphics are pretty awesome. I think this will be a delight on VR when the resolution gets really good. I've played it on the DK2. A lot of people say they like it, but I can't see any of the dials. The definition of the dials is just too high. You see how awesome it is when you zoom in. And with the DK2 Oculus, the pixelation, you can see the definition of the screen. So that all just becomes pixelated. And I just don't like it all. I think it's terrible. I'd much rather play like this. So I'm really excited to see it on the new Oculus when it comes out, or the Vive, to see if it's playable. I really hope it is. And if not, I think with the takeoff of VR, I think within a couple of years we'll have 4K screens, you know, and things like that. Because we already have 4K phone screens, so it's not a big problem. I don't know where this enemy is. I'm gazing around. DCS does have a map, so you can kind of cheat a little. You can go in there and have a look where you are. So this was meant to be like the battle area, and then this is the enemy base, so I could go down there and see what's going on. Oh, they're firing at me now, it looks like. I can't see any other planes. So you get like the guy basically struggling to breathe because I was playing some G-forces then. Oh, that one was close. You don't really get like the shock effects of the explosions going off. That would be really cool, but it is only beta 1.5 and it's a very small team that made this game. So it's really a good thing if people can if people get into it, they realise what goes into the aircraft, they can buy them. It's great to support these kind of companies. I always said the same with Armour. You know, I played Armour 10 years ago, and people didn't really like it because it was a slower game. It was called Operation Flashpoint, or OFP. And the more and more people bought into it, they got the money to come out with Armour 2 and Armour 3, and now there's been some really good mods and spin-offs. And it's a really well recognised game, so it's good when these teams that create these unique games actually get support. They're very different than the indie companies we're getting now that kind of do a lot of money grabbing, and so I don't really see any enemy aircraft, which is very strange. Oh, that one was close. Oh crap. I don't even see on the ground something to attack for what's firing. Yeah, this game you can define zoom in and zoom out. You can assign quick zooms with the keys. So is that a nice view? So you can just jump to different dials, so you could have like that as a setup of a key and then that, so you could just jump around really quickly. Or you could have your, you know, your targeting for bombing and stuff. But what are you doing, buddy? Oh crap. Yeah, it's very difficult in the game to represent how good your eyes are and, you know, to focus on things. Like when we look somewhere very specific with our eyes, we focus and we can see things really well. But it's hard to do that in a game because they're setting the focus, you know, to not actually render everything or to render things at different quality to make the performance okay. So with this game you have this zoom, and so if you are scanning the skies or anything, you can zoom around, and you know, it really helps. But if you're wanting to look at targets you're going in to shoot, you can really zoom in on that, and I can actually change my target, I think, make it smaller and bigger. That's wrong size. There we go. So it depends how far away things are, you can set that, so as you zoom in you've got the full target zone. So we could just go in, like, attack this building. Come get some! I really don't see any enemy planes. I don't know why. I must have to change the missions. Maybe they've all been killed. I just leave the server on, so I'm not sure how, if it resets the mission or not. Go through the buildings. This aircraft, when I was first flying it, I was like jerking it. I was being really fast with the controls, and I was just messing it up completely and crashing. It is that mortar fire? Yeah. Yeah, it can really pull some nice maneuvers, but you have to be very smooth with it. If you do try and yank it, it will. You see it then? It nearly went. Now I've got a lot of speed. I'm doing 300, but still, it's. If you try and force it anywhere, it will turn back on you and go the other way. You'll lose your airflow over the surfaces, and it'll just throw it into a maneuver. Like if we try that, there we go. So the nose starts wobbling around. It just loses that proper airflow over the wings, and you could very easily end up unstuck. I could try and go to the airbase, I guess. Track IR just feels brilliant. If you ever use Track IR when you first use it, I mean, I did a Track IR video a long time ago, like 6-7 years ago, maybe more, and I said the same thing then. People first use it and it's just like, oh, this is horrible, you know, and if you're not patient, you just send it back or throw it in the bin. But if you use it for a week, and you get it set up nice and smooth to how you like it, especially with the tri-skiing, it's amazing. It's so much better with tri-skiing like this. If you then forget to turn it on when you fire your game up and you think, oh, I'll just play it anyway, you won't last 10 seconds because it just feels so different. It feels like you can't see anything, or you just, you know, it feels like you're going back a generation in gaming. It's really, really strange. I mean, I think VR is worlds ahead, obviously. But I mean, I had a track out to my original Sony HMD, and I had like a basic VR solution that I used to play games in, and that was fantastic, but not as good as the VRs we have now. But yeah, Track IR, definitely recommend it if you never played with it. It takes a bit of time to configure, but it's definitely worth it. This is kind of a bit boring, I'm sorry. This is more like an overview of DCS rather than seeing some good combat or me getting shut down. See, I think this is the enemy runway. Oh, here it is. We can see the fire coming in. Crap, crap, crap. Crap, crap, crap. Doesn't sound good. See, they got these barrages here, AA barrages, anti-aircraft. Oh man, I'm not going to do well. That might have not been the best idea. Oh, oh, oh. Poor little Dora's not sounding too good. You may be going for a swim today. You can eject. You can scupper your aircraft. You can jump out. You can actually fire off your canopy as well. There's a release down here. The red tag. I could see if I can make it back. I don't know if I'm going to make it past the airport. Let's just see. Oh, she's looking a bit beat up. Oh, no smoke though. It's all right. Oh, maybe in a minute. Crap, crap, crap. I'm a bit too far away for her, maybe. They're trying. Yeah, if you play this game on like one of the modern aircraft, like a Fulcrum or something, MiG-Fulcrum, the F-15, they're bringing out the F-18, I believe too. I used to play it with the older aircraft that were not as technical, but they still had the systems very well. It's very much like a real aircraft, modern combat. It's very much. You don't even see the aircraft. You have a lot of fire and forget missiles, active and semi-active missiles. So you're using your systems a lot. Oh, well, that's not good. So I don't know what to do here to eject. I guess we can scupple the. Oh, there goes the canopy. So that's good. Should we try and land it in the water? It could be the best solution. Or should we eject? Let's eject. Is it too low? I don't know. What happened? I think it was my plane. Did my pilot not get out? Oh, I had a fighter on me. I didn't even know. That's how unaware I was of my surroundings. That's terrible. I guess flying over the runway did that for me. Kind of woke them up. They were like, quick, let's get out of here. We've got an idiot flying over the runway. Scramble, scramble. Okay, guys, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That's DCS. I've got a server on here it's based in Seattle, but I've got a really good 100 connection, so people want to join on there. If you liked DCS, you want to see more stuff, let me know. I'll try and get into it more and find out how to have a more rewarding experience in the video. But that's really quite a good overview of the World War II era aircraft. So I think there's 3 or 4. How many is there here actually? There's 1, 2. Yeah, there's 3 P-51's the US one. So there's 3 just on this game. So I think there's 4 in total, and there's more coming. So yeah. Please like it and leave a comment if you like it, and I'll definitely make more DCS stuff. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.